Just gone 16 after 9 o'clock. Welcome back. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is News and Views on Salam Media. Our next guest is President of Al-Jama-ah, Ganief Hendrick. Gives me great pleasure to have you on the show this morning. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome.
Alaikum salam. Shukran. Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be on your show.
Thank you. Now, Ganief, I'm a little confused, as I should imagine a lot of people will be. So let me ask you this question. I'm looking at something called the Interim Registration of Muslim Marriages Bill, and I'm also hearing that you are registering or in the process of registering the Nikah Bill 2021. Is it one and the same thing, or will the Muslim Marriages Bill cover this, or is it two different pieces of acts, so to
No,
speak?
it's the same thing. Now and then, when we speak about a Nikah Bill because it's all about a Nikah, but the official name is as you have stated it.
The Muslim
Which
Marriages
is
Bill.
we know it is called, the official name is the Interim Registration of Muslim Marriages Bill 2021. There was a Muslim Marriages Bill, I think, about 10 years ago, and that was thrown in the waste paper basket. And so this is a new initiative, and you are quite, so just to clear up the confusion,
Okay.
we've got a legislative program, and we're working with 3 bills. This is our first bill. The second bill is to do with maintenance, and the third bill with burials. But this is our first bill, and we sometimes give it a shorter name and just call it a Nikah Bill.
Okay. So let me ask you this, Ganief. You're talking about marriage, you're talking about maintenance, and you're talking about burials. Would this be directly targeted at the Muslim community of South Africa and not other religious groups?
The first bill is targeted at Muslims, but it's also a model for other groups whose religious marriages are not recognized. The maintenance bill is for all South Africans, as well as the burials. The amendments to the Burials Act is for all South Africans. But this is as a result of a order by the Supreme Court of Appeal, which said there must be a Muslim Marriages Act in place by November next year. And we are throwing the government a lifeline by coming up with this bill, which the Speaker is funding. She pays for the publication in a government gazette. She's provided us with 2 advocates and a supervisor, and they are assisting us in drafting it in parliamentary language. And the Department of Home Affairs, they sent 9 officials to assist us to make it a minimalist bill, because as you know, in the 7th Parliament there will be a new Marriage Act, one act for everyone, and all the 5 Marriage Acts will be scrapped. But you see, we can't wait for the 7th Parliament, that is 3 to 5 years.
That's in 2025.
So that is an interim arrangement.
That's going to happen
in
2025, right?
Yeah. We just want the Nikah ceremony to be recognized and a marriage certificate to be issued. So those people who are in a Nikah marriage only, their death certificate will not say never married, which is an indignity to women. Also, at the moment, because we don't have registration of Muslim marriages, Muslim wives are disadvantaged, and also their children are basically regarded as illegitimate. So we feel that this will bring the dignity back, which has been denied to us. And we have taken the advice of the Department of Home Affairs to make it a minimal bill. So we are not codifying the marriage laws of Islam into a 200-300 page act. This is just 8 pages. In fact, it's 2 pages. The others are all the technicalities you must attach to a bill. So where we stand now is that the 30 days period for comment has expired. There hasn't been many objections. Now we have to submit the real bill, which I sent you a copy of, or I sent your station
Yes,
a
I
copy
have.
of.
Yes, we have it.
Now,
We have it to hand.
the real bill will be tabled today only. I'm sending it off today with the other. Here they want a summary and they want things like that. And then what will happen is it will be certified by Parliament's speciality team, and the certification takes 6 weeks. Once the certification certificate is given to us, then it will follow the normal route that any bill in Parliament follows. It goes to the Portfolio Committee. They make a recommendation to the National Assembly, and then they vote on it.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Obviously, you have initiated this, and in support for the betterment of the lot of Muslim women as far as marriages, death, divorce, etc. is concerned. You indicated that a lot of people have supported you, Muslim bodies, as I understand it, have supported you in this endeavor of yours. Would I be correct in saying that I think the Sunni Ulema Council has objected or haven't supported you in this initiative, and they have said that they'd rather wait for one statute bill which may see the light of day, as you've said, in the 7th Parliament, which is in the year 2025.
Yeah, look, our position is that not a day longer do we want Muslim women to suffer this indignity. So the sooner, the better. Now, they are hoping that, they are prepared to wait. We are not prepared to wait. They are entitled to wait. If their women that belongs to their Jama-ahs are prepared to wait, that is their choice. But, just imagine a couple is in a nikah for 40 years. The husband goes to hospital for COVID. He returns from hospital in a body bag because he died. She can't see his face. And then the undertaker gives her a certificate, which is a death certificate, which says they were never married. How must she feel? And we feel that.
All right, Ganief, let me come in here. Is that the only issue? What other sort of support or coverage will the bill give to Muslim women?
Look, like I say, it's a minimalist bill. It will give them a marriage certificate. So once once they die, they will get a death certificate, which will say they married. At the moment, it says never married. They can take that death certificate, transfer the council house from the husband's name to the wife's name, or vice versa. She can transfer the car to her name without much ado. She can draw UIF. If it is a death due to injury at work, she can get compensation. There may be insurance policies. She doesn't have to spend lots of money, to go to court to get all the court orders allowing her all these privileges. She just shows her marriage certificate.
Okay. So when the Sunni Ulema Council decided that they'd rather wait for that one statute bill in 2025, did you guys then agree to disagree and go your separate way, so to speak? And the council not agreeing with you on this matter has, what I'd like to understand is that it's not going to disadvantage any particular group of females, or it's not going to create discord in the Ummah in Greater South Africa.
Yeah, look, they are entitled to their views. They feel that they don't want a piecemeal approach, so there is some
Ah.
merits in that.
Mm. Mm.
We, however, have learned from government that they don't want, the Muslim Marriages Act to include, for example, divorces, propriety rights, age of marriage, because there are acts that deal with that. So if Muslims aren't happy with those acts, they must amend those acts and not try and incorporate them into a marriage act, because it just creates complications. Government can't have a divorce act and in other acts have clauses that is different to the divorce act. It's just not going to work, and that's why there was a delay with the Muslim Marriages Act, which was rejected and thrown into the waste paper basket. So we have all we're interested in is that Nikah must get legal consequences, and that the bill that we have, there's nothing complicated in it. It is just a marriage ceremony, which in a nutshell is, a proposal, and then the girl accepts it. She determines a dowry, and then she has a proxy to represent her, or she represents herself. That's it. And that is what the South African government wants. Minimalist bill. They don't want to get involved in ecclesiastical matters. They feel
Okay.
communities must sort out their issues themselves and don't make their problems government problems, because, in the Muslim community, there are different madhabs with regard to the last marriage act. They couldn't agree on one single clause. It delays, it drags. I don't think anyone will have a quarrel with just registering the nikah. But you get the funny characters that will find something to criticize.
Hmm. Okay, so this would only deal with the registration of the nikah. What happens in terms of a talaq? Is this nikah bill going to cover that as well? And what
No,
exactly does that say?
no. In terms of the talaq, the nikah bill is not going to cover it at all. We're only registering the marriage. That's why it's called a registration bill. And when it comes to the nikah, there is a judgment of the Supreme Court of Appeal in December, I think the 15th last year, which dealt with Siraj Desai's judgment in connection with Muslim marriages. And the Supreme Court of Appeal, which included Judge Nafsa, they said that the Divorce Act will now apply to Muslims and any other person in the country that wants to terminate their marriages. So the Divorce Act applies. When it comes to propriety rights, the matrimonial law applies.
Can I interrupt you there, Ganief? Can I interrupt you there? Do you, in your personal opinion, do you think that was the right judgment? The blanket divorce, the blanket divorce rulings for Muslims as well?
Look, you must understand that we are not happy to have our dissolution of marriages dealt with by a divorce act. We feel that the present situation is quite adequate. The MJC, the Jama-ahs have upped their game. They've got professors, lawyers in the ranks advising them. 10 years ago, when the Women's Legal Center launched their case, that was not the case. So over the last 10 years, you find that the Ulema bodies, there's 1,000 Ulema bodies that issues divorces and talaqs and fasaqs. And, for example, the Hanafis, they don't give a fasakh easily. The Safis, they speed it up. And everyone has their approaches. And it's up to women to decide, to go to a judiciary. I know that both parties agree to speed up if they want to separate, then they must separate. But we don't want to include that in the minimalist bill, because then you've got to, cover all those aspects, and you're just going to create problems. So We're only interested in the registration,
Mm.
and it will have maybe less advantages because it doesn't cover a divorce. But South Africa's position in Parliament is that there is a Divorce Act. Why do you want to include it in your Marriage Act? When you come to the
Okay.
Civil Unions Act, there's nothing about divorce. They rely on the Divorce Act. There's nothing about
Mm.
proprietary rights. They rely on the Matrimonial Act. Why must Muslims want to be treated differently?
Okay, my final question to you then. Once this bill has been passed, the Muslim Marriages Bill, would it cover people that were married 30, 40, and 50 years ago as well? Or will it only be covering new marriages, current marriages?
Look, we have created a space for those who want who were married before the bill to take their Nikah certificate, possibly with an affidavit, to the Department of Home Affairs, and then they will be issued with a marriage certificate. So, there is provision for that. Secondly, everyone wants to have a second honeymoon. They can just do another nikah, and the horse will bolt, and they will get
let's
all of
let's
that.
leave
Yeah.
it
Don't
there.
don't you want
Let's
this? Don't
leave
you
it
want a
there.
second honeymoon?
I reserve my comment. Let's leave it there. Nice talking to you. We will
It's a
hook up
pleasure.
with you again soon. Nice chatting. Go well and
Okay.
salamu alaikum to you.
Alaikum
It
salam wa
is
rahmatullahi wa
it
barakatuh.
is it's exactly 9:33. That was Ganief Hendrick, president of Al Jama, talking about the registration of the Muslim Marriages Bill or the Nikah Bill 2021. Still to come, Yvonne Ridley on the issue of the bleak hospital wards in Afghanistan, the dying children of Afghanistan. Stay with us.
These days, I'm more health conscious